about you that makes me wanna say I love you. Just let me know when we start. Just something about you that makes me...
Live.
What? Tim, you did it. Oh my gosh. I took full responsibility. Guys, we are back with another podcast. How exciting. Just ignore that little humming I was to myself. There's nothing, no big deal. Just a number one hit. Nowhere. Guys, it is No Sugar, No Cream podcast, and this is the Lion's Den, ladies and gentlemen. And with me, as always, is Tim Wolf.
Welcome to the Lion's Den.
Alrighty then. All right, well, we didn't steal that from anybody. Guys.
If you know, you know.
All right.
Back to it again.
Back to it then. That was too guys.
Crunching the numbers.
Crunching the numbers. We are back at it again, and we're live as always on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even I believe today. You're on TikTok live?
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir. Got a little bit of an exciting week for us. Tim's headed out of town, but he'll be back in town for a podcast next Tuesday.
Oh, of course.
Unless something crazy happens. Who knows?
No, don't speak that
into existence. I mean, no, crazy isn't a good thing. I mean, who knows? Who knows? You just might start on a world tour for all we know. You know, who knows what can happen in one weekend.
Well, I do have...
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Well, this shirt here is important this week. This is the cover of my first full-length album, Everything I Learned in Grade School. And the anniversary for the 3-year anniversary for that album release was this week. What is today? It's I don't know exact date. I think it was the 20th of July. What is today? 22nd? So it was a couple days ago. It was around this time, the 3-year anniversary of that album. And so all of you have purchased it. I've sent out thousands and thousands of that CD. Thank you, every one of you. And it's still available.
And that doesn't include mathematics. So if you're expecting to see an album where he's just going 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 1 is 3. That's not in there. That's not related to it. Just doesn't fit in. Okay, guys. Yes, that's what I wanted. I wanted to hear Tim talk. I love math, so. But yeah. Once again, Tim has not signed the newest album. We'll get to that.
If Bob, our studio assistant, hadn't taken a day off, he didn't show up for work again.
He's always asleep in that chair over there. So that's what we get for.
Oh, is he? That's right. I can't see him. He's volunteer. He's invisible, so it's hard to see him. Yeah. It's hard to see him when he's there. Anyway, so this is the CD, and it's a picture of the one-room schoolhouse I attended in South Dakota, the first 4 grades, and it's what it looks like today. And one of the local farmers took that picture for me, and it's abandoned now. Nobody's using it, but. That is that album, and you can still get that album. Do you want to know where that name come from? Did I ever
Absolutely not. Let's move on.
First came to Nashville, and I was putting out feelers everywhere, trying to find a foothold, trying to find a fingerhold to do something with my music career. And I started taking vocal lessons. And the husband of my vocal coach was someone who was a producer. And I'm not mentioning names, but he had some sync success, getting songs placed in sync. Sync means synchronized to moving picture. So a sync placement would be in a movie, a TV show.
Or in the bathroom.
Or commercial.
Oh, no. That's not the sync. Okay, you're correct. Not the sync I was thinking. We'll be here for the next hour, guys. Buckle in tight.
Yes, a difference.
Yes, a different sink.
Not a kitchen sink either. Just to be clear.
But it's
not
chrome.
A bathroom.
It is chrome for sure. Chrome.
Anyway, so she
There you
said
go.
he'll listen to some of your songs for a fee, of course. So his rate was $100 an hour. I remember I brought $100 bill, and I played him my song, "Earthquake in a Bottle," which is one of my most successful songs to date. It's on this album, and it's got a guitar riff that probably one of my most iconic. People that are my fans, I get messages all the time, and invariably when they say the name of their favorite songs, "Earthquake in a Bottle" is one of their favorite songs, and it's in the ad
It is
for,
catchy. It is very catchy. Earthquake in a bottle.
and the intro is me playing guitar, and I played that for him, and while that intro is playing, he goes, "I learned those licks in grade school." Very patronizing and putting me down. I don't know. I believe what he was trying to accomplish. He didn't know that I had played them, and he didn't know that I had actually, I was singing, and he thought I was just a writer, I guess, and he was hoping to get my business, and which, if he was the last producer in the world after that, he would not get my business. And I think he was trying to downgrade whoever he thought had done the production work. And then later on, it was in SoundCloud. So in SoundCloud, comments that people make show up at the timestamp when they make the comments, if you've ever used a SoundCloud app. And so it's going on, and we're looking at the screen, and it pops up, "Great solo, Tim." And he looks at me and he said, "Did you play that?" I said, "Yeah, that was me playing." And he had a choice at that point. He could have said, "I'm so sorry. I misunderstood. We've gotten off the wrong foot. Let me give you your $100 back." I mean, something. Just could have said, "I'm so sorry for insulting you. I didn't realize that was you playing."
But no, he loaded his gun and took aim at his foot.
He did. He did. He did nothing. He said nothing. He just said, "Is that you playing?" "Yes."
Maybe there's a little swallow.
He didn't knob. He didn't do a thing. He didn't nod. He didn't do a thing. He didn't own it. He didn't say, "Yeah, my bad. I just insulted you." So that gave me fuel. And I named my album, my first full-length album, "Everything I Learned in Grade School." So that's where the name of that song comes from. And is from that Nashville producer, who I will not name his name, who gave me the fire. I mean, that when people do that to me, I don't know if they do it to you, they just put a fire under me to prove them wrong. So
Yeah, everything I learned in grade school kind of just went into a coloring book, and
so use that as fuel. When somebody denigrates you and brings you down, use that for fuel. That's what I try to do, and I think that's I think other people do it as well. So I think that's don't let it get you down. Use it for fuel. And
now if we could just get Tim to stop using gas as fuel and just stick with the lighter fluid a little bit at a time. Tim just like flame on. Fantastic Four coming out Friday. Probably try to go see that. It comes out on my birthday.
Oh,
yeah. You're leaving the day after my birthday.
Oh. Yeah, I know your birthday's this week. When is it? Tomorrow? Not tomorrow.
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
In advance.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Maybe a number that we don't have to talk about. Once I hit a certain number, I stopped keeping track. And the proof is in the pudding, because about every single year since I hit 40, I have forgotten what age I am. I have to calculate it out. I have seriously stopped keeping track of how old I am. Good times. Yeah. I was gonna say so, but yeah. Fantastic Four comes out this week. Gotta love a good movie. I think I've mentioned this.
Who are the actors and actresses in that?
A couple of them I really don't. Three of them I don't know real well. You have the main. You have let me pull up IMDb here real quick. I don't really know any but one of them. A couple of them look familiar.
So what are the Fantastic Four characters?
You have Thing, which is he kind of looks like he really big, thick, kind of the Hulk.
A bunch of
version
bricks. Got a bunch of bricks.
Marvel.
Got a bunch of brick. He's made of bricks.
Well, he's Marvel too. Yeah, he basically looks like a bunch of bricks, but yeah, he looks like somebody went a little crazy with the concrete mix. And they all got,
I've seen that. And then who else?
And then you got
if you can't name all four, I'm taking away your fan card. Taking
Mr.
it away.
Fantastic, which he stretches and real strong and can stretch, reach out and reach everywhere. And then Miss Invisible.
Are you reading it?
Well, I did see Mr. Fantastic right there. Which the actor. Okay, so that's
so Pedro, he can become
Pedro Pascal.
He can be invisible.
Huge right now.
And then isn't there a woman? Isn't one of the Fantastic Four a woman?
Sue Storm, yeah, Miss Invisible Woman. She can go invisible, and then she can do like shields. She can create shields. And then you have the Thing, which that's he looks kind of familiar. Eben Moss something. I've seen him something.
Moss Backrack.
He's the Thing, the big Thing, and then the Johnny is Storm, and that's Joseph Quinn. I'm not even really familiar with him. Yeah, I don't recognize him at all. That's great, but I mean, sometimes, goodness, there's so many actors out there, but yeah, I'm definitely Pedro Pascal.
I know that
he's
name.
Been in so much stuff lately. A number of hit shows and a number of movies, but it should be a lot of fun. But it's kind of lame that they're just kind of copying the last Fantastic Four movie, because they're having the same villain. It's a Silver Surfer, but she's a girl. So it's the same. It's like, why not use a different villain or whatever? But it should be still enjoyable. I'm excited about it. I was very happy with F1. I can't remember if I talked about that or not, with Brad Pitt. Great storyline. You don't have to be a fan of racing to enjoy that movie. Storyline was fantastic. Brad Pitt, gosh, man, dude's still looking good after all these years, man. He's got to be like 60 now.
He's in his mid-60s, yeah.
It's crazy. Of course, you probably give up some of that to have a good relationship with his kids. That's one of the sides of that, with being in the spotlight and all that, and then having a really rough. You remember John Cusack? Man, he's hardly been in anything the last 10 years.
I was a huge John Cusack fan.
Yeah, maybe we've talked
about him. He disappeared
before.
after about 2000. He was in everything.
I think he got a little bit of a blacklisted thing going on because he was outspoken about some things in Hollywood, I think.
And then there's Joan Cusack, his sister. She's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay. I guess I never put those together. But she is. Yeah, Joan Cusack. Yeah, she's been in tons of stuff. Yeah, that's awesome.
Parents said, let's name our boy and girl very similar names, Joan and John.
Which kind of works well for Hollywood, because then you get, if you're both good actors, you get lumped together. That's really, that can be good. It is interesting how there is a lot of siblings that are in Hollywood that have done really well for themselves. This weekend you got a little trip going on, and that can we talk a little bit about it?
I'm going to a party, meet with some other record music people, and I'm pretty excited about it. And
I hope you meet some really cool people. I feel like there's still going to be some like stuck up people there, right? And they're going to be probably some.
I have no idea.
Prepare yourself for that. But it was nice that you were just instantly. We talked about this last week, that somebody sent you an email saying welcome to the family.
Yeah, welcome to the family. Yeah, because it's not an official Grammy event, but there was going to be a lot of Grammy voting members there, and so it's put on by a pretty prominent Grammy voting member, who is a governor of one of the states, and he knows a lot of people. And so he invited me to come. I'm like, wow, me? What? I'm invited? So pretty
I
exciting.
didn't realize how soon that was. I was thinking it was that's so cool. That would be a good time. Did you get your swimming trunks ordered?
I did order some swimming trunks. Yeah.
Excellent.
So the first day is in the evening at a jazz club. I think it's a jazz club. Or later on, first it's a mixer, and then there's an artist that'll be performing. So I think it's like a jazz club or some sort of a club that has live music. And then the next day is, I believe, is a kind of like a poolside, just mingle. And he said just casual poolside dress. So,
I'll grab. So you have an extra pair of swimming trunks because I think I have a pair of the brand new. I have a bunch of pairs of swimming trunks because that's vacation. That's what I'm wearing the whole time for the most part.
I ordered 2 of them.
Did you? Okay.
So I'll see which 2 I like.
Did you order a couple different sizes?
No, I didn't.
Sometimes those can be annoying. I've got that down for the most part as far as sizes, which I end up giving something to my brother every once in a while when my size are off for Amazon. But yeah, hey, that's what happens when you buy something for $20 on Amazon. You just take that risk, in my experience. Of course, yeah. Now they make it so easy with the being able to send it back and all that, but that takes time.
I hate sending stuff back.
I mean, if I was spent like $50 on $100 or something, yeah, I'd go to the time to do that if it doesn't fit right. But yeah. I know I need to get into a normal store and do some clothes shopping at some point. I haven't been shopping. There's that nice mall that you said you've been going to eat at.
Yeah. I found, so not far from where we live, close to the interstate. Now, the one thing that Seth and my other nephew complained about when he used to live here, we live kind of far from the interstate. I mean, or my house is kind of far from the interstate. And it probably takes, you're at least driving at least 15 minutes before you're on the interstate, right? There's 2 interstates on either side of us. There's 65 and 24. And
this one should just be like 10 minutes or less, but there's that stupid little bit of traffic right there outside of it, which... Yeah.
Well, this they put a new exit a mile south of the main exit, or it's like a mile south. I mean, and in that area, there's a lot of new things going on. And I was looking for a new. I love to go to breakfast, all day breakfast, even if it's in the afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Bring my computer and sit there and drink coffee and do my desk work. My social media stuff and answering emails and things like that. And they don't bother me. They bring me fill me with coffee. I especially like it if they bring a coffee pot, which is what they do at the rest, like First Watch, they do that. And also a restaurant that I've been going to south of here, Extravaganza, they do that. But anyway, so I Googled it, found it. It's called Extravagant, EGGS, Extravagant. Play on words. And the one south of us is Extravaganza. So I guess it's the thing to take a word that starts with E something and then put egg in it. Extravaganza instead of extravaganza.
This has been Breakfast Talk with Tim.
Anyway, so I went there and it was a whole huge, like, what would you say? Not a strip mall, but it's not a strip. It's kind of a semicircle.
They call it
outlet mall. All the outlets, all the brands you can think of are there. I mean, a whole bunch of them. I bet there's 30 outlet shops there, maybe 40, a bunch of them. And it kind of goes around in a circle. I haven't been to any of them, but they have a few restaurants like what did I call it? Exceptional. Now I even forgot what it is. The name of the restaurant that I go to. Exceptional, I think it's called. Anyway, there's also a Red Bicycle there, coffee shop, and maybe one other kind of place there for food. And anyway, it looks like it's all almost brand new. I mean, and I asked them how long the restaurant has been there, and they said about a year. So, and there's a bunch of apartment buildings. They're huge apartment complex. There's got to be 1,000 apartments there. I mean, just
okay. That's
huge,
probably the
really
Tingler
close.
outlet. That's probably the Tingler outlet.
I think that sounds right. Yeah. How many stores are there? Does it say?
I'm not sure. I just looked up Red Bicycle to find it, but let me see. there's got to be several hundred, I would think.
That many? Wow.
Or, I mean, I'm guessing. I have no idea. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably really
They even have a Crocs outlet.
Yeah.
Why do you need? I thought outlets for like more expensive stuff. Why would you need an outlet store for Crocs?
Crocs are getting popular, I guess, huh? Yeah, I got to hit that Nike store up. So
anyway, new things to explore, new things to tempt you to spend your money. What else? It's the American way, right? Capitalistic society.
Yeah, that's only 10 minutes away.
And the ride is incredibly nice. I mean, you go through some, we live in a development, and the houses are like 10 feet on either side of us. Well, maybe not that close. How close is
some of them further down are, but yeah.
But our houses are probably 20 feet apart.
Yeah.
So I mean, a bunch of houses, nice houses, brick houses, but a development. But if you get out there on the between here and there, it's much spread out, and you got houses. They're not really big mansions. They're about the same size as mine, but they're surrounded by like 2 acres, and that would be cool. I mean, kind of rolling hills. You could put. Some of them have really cool landscaping, trees and bushes that are shaped, and some of them have gates, so they have a gate. That's a little more bougie. But so it's a nice drive to get there.
Yeah, I guess it'd be hard to put a gate on this community now since we connect to other communities. I wonder if the HOA decided to do something like that.
You could have a gate in this community. There's like 200 houses in here. Who's going to close the gate?
Well, I mean, it'd be like an automatic one and just codes.
Yeah, okay.
They're just codes. Okay. There's nowadays. Yeah.
But
other than getting my car,
and this is a new F1 raceway, by the way. It's official roadway for racing. No, that's sarcasm. There's some individuals that apparently believe that our road is the road that they need to drive 70 miles an hour on with their really loud engines. I don't know what they put, kind of muffler or no muffler, and it always pops. It's a very unique kind of sound. I mean, I was a kid once, and I liked loud cars, and I had headers on my Camaro, and I had lift cam, so when I'd come to stoplight, I'd go poop, and I had straight pipes. I don't think I had mufflers, but it sounded different. It was a Chevrolet 327 engine. These engines sound different. It's like a backfire when they slow down. I don't know if that's a Japanese engine. It's just different. It's a different sound.
It's going by really quickly too, because you hear it go.
I believe that they have to be going 60, 70 miles an hour. I mean, some kids playing in the street, that kid's dead. So I don't know. I mean, but I was foolish once, but I don't think I was ever that foolish. Honestly,
don't our neighbors put out like a kids playing?
They do. Our neighbor, they have kids, and they put out like the yellow triangle thing for wet floors or whatever message you would have on that. They have one that says kids playing, and then it says drive like your kids were playing or something like that. I mean, not bad message on the weekends.
So hopefully they like their kids, the people that are driving by. I haven't seen my kids in 20 years.
Well, I'm sure they don't have kids. Those guys driving there are like, assuming they're guys. They could be girls, but most likely guys.
Oh my gosh! We were driving home.
18 to 20. I mean, they're not married. They don't have kids. They're young. I'm guessing. Maybe not. I don't know.
Were we headed home from being in Madison, the last stretch, the last 20, 15 minutes, and that guy just went between us. Oh my gosh.
We were driving at highway speeds, probably 70 on the interstate, and this guy was racing, I think his friend, and he was cutting between traffic.
That one was by himself. I don't think there was nobody else with him.
Was he by himself?
Crazy.
He was cutting between traffic, and there wasn't, it was fairly full. And so he made a way. There really wasn't a way, and he was 6 inches from my front corner, my driver's side corner. Wouldn't you say 6 inches?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Maybe even closer. At 70 miles an hour.
It was a blink of the eye. It was crazy.
Yeah, and thank God there was no contact. But what's the
Or
point?
Tim would have been contacting him, and I would have been saying, "Get him, Unc, get him." Bam.
Well, driving in Nashville, I did a reels the other day, and I got a lot of people saying, yes, I mean, in Nashville, I've never experienced anything like it. If you're trying to switch lanes, like say you get on, and then you suddenly got to get all the way over to the other side because your exit is coming and you got to get over there. So you're just trying to migrate across the lanes. Nashville drivers ain't having it.
And you have to keep migrating anyways because the right lane is always exiting.
Well, that's another thing.
Basically, in a way, Nashville roads created crazy Nashville drivers just because of the way
you're just you're not trying to cut anybody off. You're just trying to get over before your exit goes by. And not all, but many Nashville drivers won't have it. And if you put your blinker on, they'll speed up so you can't get in. And if you do, sometimes they'll honk at you. And you're like, we're all just trying to get to where we're going, and they love to honk at you. And my experience was I was driving north. I was to Louisville. I was in Kentucky, and I wanted to make a turn, get in the next lane, and I put my blinker on. There was a car behind me. I could see my rearview mirror. I put my blinker on, and I was waiting for them to pass because I was still in Nashville. And I waited for like 30 seconds, and I looked in my rearview mirror. How come they're not passing me? Because I put my blinker on. That means that they need to speed up, which is Nashville way. They had literally slowed down, waiting for me to get over my lane. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. I'm no longer in Tennessee. I'm where normal people drive again. So, that's in South Dakota and other places I've driven. That's where it would be. You'd put your blinker on, or you're just trying to merge. People often will slow down to let you get over.
And that's probably just Nashville too. The rest of Nashville is probably plenty of friendly people. The
rest of Tennessee, you mean? Or what do you mean?
The rest of Tennessee. Yes. I would say Nashville as it was a state. Tennessee. The rest of Tennessee, you got all these nice little towns around here. I mean, you drive a little bit south, you go to my favorite movie theater, dine-in theater, giant. That's where my favorite spot to go.
People are wonderful, but it's
town,
I'm not the only one to say this. When I posted that, you wouldn't believe the number of comments underneath saying, yes, it's my experience every day when I work downtown and it's hell on the road trying to get where I'm going. Every day I have to struggle with it. People commenting. So I'm not the only one who sees this.
In fact, I'm getting where I enjoy Ubering. If I have to go downtown for something, if I get it, usually it's getting a ticket or something. I just went to UFC. Did I even talk about that last week? Did I mention the UFC? I don't know if I did or not.
And the other extreme.
Yeah, was that
the other extreme? Turning. It's like they're turning in a buggy. They don't believe their car can handle the G-forces. So when they turn, they slow down to about 2 miles an hour. Very slow to make a turn. A lot of drivers. And never use the blinker. Never. It's forbidden to use the blinker for turning in Nashville. No, do not use. It's not allowed. And I remember one time I was trying to make a turn into Waffle House. I like to go to Waffle House. Cheap, you get a taste for it. I mean, it's a certain kind of vibe. You walk in and they welcome you, even if they don't know you. That's just what they have to do. They said, "Welcome to Waffle House." Their menu is rather limited, but it's just good stick to your ribs food. Anyway, so I was turning to go to Waffle House, and there was a big intersection about a half a block, well, maybe 3/4 of a block down, and that was going to be turning, and a lot of cars would become a 4-lane road, and I was in the turning lane, and the guy in front of me turned to go, and I thought, okay. They're just now coming. The light just turned. He's going to get in there, and I'm going to follow him. And so I don't have to wait for another light because he's going to turn, and I'm going to be behind him, and I'll still be in there before they come. The cars come after the light turns. Well, he turns, and there's like this much of a bump, level up. Sometimes the concrete roads to go from the highway we were on into the inlet to get into Waffle House. There was a bump about that much. He literally stops at the front of that bump, and the cars are coming. He stops, and I'm seeing the cars coming, and I'm like, I'm going to get hit. So I pulled in. There were no cars coming this way, so I pulled beside him. So I'm out of the road. And because there were no cars coming my way, there was room there, and we were both going to Waffle House. And we got out of our cars. He was so mad. He said, "You almost hit me." I'm like, "Man, you took forever to turn." And his wife was trying to calm him down. He said, "Man, if you had hit me, we would have another problem." I didn't hit you, dude. I wasn't even in your lane. I mean, he was so hot, but I should have been hot at him because he slowed down to a dead stop because of this little lip. And he wasn't an old guy. He was probably 30 years old. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I just think like if there, if we go hypothetically, that guy would have got his butt kicked.
Like, no, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know about that, but
I don't know. You're from the same cloth of your father, and that man. When I was in my late teens, working out in high school and stuff, I was paralyzed because he put me in some hold that he put his calves in that should be taught to the UFC. This needs to be taught to the UFC fighters because literally I could not move. I quickly was like, somebody take a picture. What is he doing to me right now? I can't move. Oh my gosh. You guys, that man at late 70s was throwing large the logs that you use for the fences had to be at least 100 plus pounds each.
Oh yeah.
And just tossing them in the back of the truck. I think I did 3 or 4 or 5, and I'm like, "You're doing great!" And with the biggest smile on his face, he was doing it like he was just having the time of his life. And he, of course, he was getting a kick out of me, it just like destroying me, and he's doing it just like he's just throwing pieces of candy in the back of it.
Yeah, I remember one of my stories is when I was living there and I had this really heavy, well, it's behind me, but you can't see it. It's a green, really green. It was an entertainment center back when you had entertainment centers. And it was really heavy, especially at the bottom. And it's tall. It goes, you put your TV in there and then all your tapes and your stereo equipment. And this thing was solidly built and had the doors that would open. And when I moved it to the apartment I was living, I had 2 young, strapping 20-something farm employees who were on the heavy end, which was the bottom, and I was on the other end. And so my dad, my lease was coming up, and my dad was worried that I was going to have to pay an extra because I bought a house that I was going to have to pay an extra month. And he knocks on my door like at 7 a.m, and he said, "Let's get you moved today." I'm like, "Okay," and he brought his trailer. And so we go to move that. We were moving other stuff. And we go to move that. And I don't know what I was thinking. I started tipping it over. I was on the other end. And I don't know why I was doing that. But he just reaches down and picks it up. And I'm like, "Wait, Dad, wait." I got the light end. He's got the heavy end. And he's like, where do we put this? 2 20-something farm guys struggled with this. And he's picking it up and carrying it. And he was... I don't know if he was 80 then, but he was certainly in his 70s by that time. And he was just...
Well, plus he had some extra adrenaline from the thought of somebody having to spend extra money when they wouldn't have to if you quickly get moved out of there.
No, I'm lying. No, he would have been about 70 at that time. About 70.
Oh, man. Yeah, so he was... Gosh,
he was farm strength.
Farm strength, yeah. And then there's old man strength is a thing too. Like that comes with it. I mean, he had the double whammy. He had the old man strength on top, the farm strength. Big dose of both. Man, couple accidents there later in life. Man, it's a miracle that he was still alive. He basically went on his own accord. He didn't let the farming equipment didn't take him out. He got one in the eye.
They called him Lucky.
Oh yeah, they did call him Lucky
because he had so many close calls.
You called something. You named something after Lucky, didn't you? I named my properties Lucky 13.
No, I haven't named anything Lucky. No.
I mean, that'd be a good song. I know we've talked about how that would be a fun one to do. Just sit down and write a song about Grandpa. You could write a whole album and call it Lucky. With all the different funny stories. Oh man, we could retell the Walmart story with the oil change. I would be tickled to death. And to hear it every single podcast, and I think we've already told it like 2 or 3 times on here.
Let's not tell it again. I mean, because people probably heard it, but
no, we'll tell it again, but probably another 15, 20 down the road. I mean, I doubt it. Man, give us a if you remember my grandfather's story, the Walter story of him going to Walmart and getting his oil changed. Give us some love in the comments there.
And by the way, today is a big milestone for us.
Yes.
For Seth and Tim and Seth, No Sugar, No Cream, the funniest man in Nashville. This is our 52nd podcast. So that's a year of podcasts. We've been doing this for a year, buddy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, I don't, crazy. I mean, we probably missed, I don't think we've actually literally started 52 weeks ago. I'm sure we missed a week or two.
Yes, we completely forgot to celebrate. At some point, we'll celebrate 50. By the way,
two podcasts ago was 50.
Tim and I are really both good.
But 52. I mean, that's a whole year.
Yeah, that's 52 weeks.
And I remember you said when we started that most podcasts don't get past 7. So our first goal was to get past 7.
Yep.
And we've done 7 times 7.
Yep.
Now, and we're just getting started.
We're loving it. We appreciate you guys. We're still probably getting 500 listeners after it's been up for a couple weeks. We probably hit 500 listeners on each podcast. So appreciate you guys for that.
Yeah. Share it. And, tell your friends about it if you like it. If you like our
if
unique
you're on
vibe.
Facebook, especially, please just hit that share and be like, hey, I enjoy this podcast, and let your friends see it and get this out to more people. If you're traveling, feel free to pull it up on Spotify or Apple. We're both on there. Maybe that's just, of course, not live. That goes up a
few days after.
A few days or so after.
Maybe sometimes longer. I don't get it up in time.
No big deal. Especially as punctual as my my list of everything we talk about.
Yeah, so we divide it up. I mean, I do most of I put it on the different sites and edit it. And Seth's responsibility is to go through and summarize what we talked about. So, which
is so funny. This guy is a whiz on the computer. Well, you would imagine, here I am, the little millennial, little nephew should know a thing or two about computer. You can run circles around you as much as computer stuff you've learned, all the editing, and all of it's come in handy with you learned it because of what you love to do.
Right.
But
these days, if you're going to be an artist, a music artist, you can't just make music. You have to be a social influencer. It's the way it is. And
a lot of stuff you do with the computer and all that, you probably could do it better than a lot of people that would be how you'd have to pay to do it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I appreciate you for saying that. But I saw a post. Record labels aren't record labels anymore.
Yeah.
In the traditional sense.
Times have changed.
Record labels used to be finding, diamonds in the rough and saying, we can make you a star. And we can help you, we can shape you, we can mold you. I mean, take Bruce Springsteen, just popped into my head. Bruce Springsteen's first, correct me if I'm wrong, certainly first and maybe even second album flopped. I know the first one did, and I'm pretty sure the second one did. And it wasn't until, I'm pretty sure the third one, it might have been the second one, but I'm pretty sure it was the third one, was Born to Run. 99% sure. I know there will be Boss fans that will say, you're wrong, if I am wrong. But I'm pretty sure the first 2 were duds, and it was the third one that was Born to Run. And obviously the rest was history. So record labels used to, give you some line, if you will, some tether before they'd pull you back and say, that's it. Wouldn't keep you on a short tether, keep believing you and say, one of these songs are going to, oh, here's another one, Diana Ross. Diana Ross, with the what was her the Supremes? Yeah, Diana Ross and the Supremes, and then she broke off from the Supremes, and Motown was touting her, and they were giving her great songs and giving her great songs and giving her great songs. I read Dozier, his book, How Sweet It Is. How sweet it is to be loved by you. He wrote that. Lamont Dozier. He was one of the big writers. His two partners were, so it was HDH. What was their names? But his name was Dozier, and there were two brothers that their names started with H. He wrote so many big hits, and he wrote this book, his biography. And he passed. I mean, he wrote the book like a couple years before he passed, so thank God he got it done. He wrote just iconic songs, so many iconic Motown songs. Anyway, he talked about how Diana Ross, they kept giving her the best songs they had. And Berry Gordy, who was the president and driving force for Motown, kept saying, give her the best song. And it would fall flat. It wouldn't be a hit. And finally, she made it big. Finally, they were making fun of her. She had a nickname within Motown, and I don't remember what it was, but for someone who just couldn't make it. So,
because Supreme is much better than a one topping.
Thank you for the comic release. I'm really taking a long time to set this up. So anyway, bottom line is they stuck with her, and then she became Diana Ross and became huge. And once she hit for like 3 in a row or 4 in a row, they were all went to number 1 on the Hot 100. So at first she couldn't buy a hit, and then once she did, it was like the floodgates opened. So they were right in doing that, because she was the biggest star in pop music in the early 70s. Anyhow,
pepperoni. Definitely pepperoni.
That's what record companies used to do. They don't do that anymore. They want to see that you're already successful. And in fact,
gotta have so many followers.
You gotta have so many followers. You gotta have so many monthly listeners on Instagram on Spotify. You gotta have 1 million. I had a coach who was coaching me. I was paying for some monthly coaching from this, and she told me that one of their clients was trying to get a record deal, another artist, and they were shopping a bunch of Nashville record labels, and they told him point blank, until you have 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify, we're not interested. Well, if you have 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify, we don't need a record label. Why do we need you? And then also I saw a post the other day of a woman who was trying to get a record deal. And she was told that until you have 50,000 followers, which is not a lot on TikTok, we're not interested. That's probably a lower bar than 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. But still, 50,000 subscribers on Spotify, it's no small thing.
I feel like the studios are being super lazy in that way, because if you're one way, you probably the best way for you to make somebody, because here you have a few different kind of artists, in that these artists that will just take off and put something out there like a Bieber, and he just plays his guitar and gets millions of views, just from playing his guitar and singing a song because he has an amazing voice. Now, if you're good at developing an artist, you can take somebody that's not the best, like not the best voice, and you get them voice lessons. You help them with their music, and you can develop.
Yes,
and
that's what they used to do.
And this is the perfect time to do that, because you could send. They wouldn't be getting the best views because they're not. You could see, okay, they have potential here, but people don't like them that much. But if you help them along the way and help them get a better voice, I mean, you can see your own development. I mean,
right. I can't listen to my music from 3-4 years ago.
And you got to make the artist. And to think you just sit back here and like, well, if you don't have 1 million listens, well, exactly. I don't need you as you're not going to do me any good. You're just going to take my money. If you got 1 million listens a month, 1 million listeners,
1 million listeners, which means your streams are probably 3 million, probably 2 to 4 million a month.
That's got to be what, $1,000 to $10,000 a month?
Well, 1 million is 3,500 probably, if you own everything. If you're the only writer and you own your masters. It used to be 4,000, but it's dropped. So I think, let's say 3,500. So if you had 4 million streams a month, you'd be, making 4 times. You'd be making about 15,000 a month, just from streaming, roughly. If you owned everything and there were no other songwriters, if you own the masters And if there's two songwriters, then you split the songwriting part in half. And a lot of songs now have many songwriters. I mean, the average number of songwriters, I saw a study, pop songs now, that's different, pop songs. The average number of writers on a pop song, because if you use a sample, then you got to give the writers of that, if you use a funkadelic sample from the 70s, then everybody that was on that funkadelic sample has to be a writer. And the average, there was a recent study, this was a few years ago, the top 30 songs in the Hot 100 had an average of 9.5 writers per song.
What was that again?
This was a study a few years ago. The top 30 songs on the Hot 100 for a year, maybe 2023 or 2024. I don't remember the exact reference. The top 30 songs for that year. And then they analyzed how many writers did each of those songs have. The average was 9.5 writers per song.
Okay. I just meant to misheard you. I thought you said 900, 9.5. Okay, that makes it wow. That's a lot of still a lot of listeners. I mean,
one of them had over 20. That's when you use a lot of samples. Like if you're using samples, then if you use multiple samples for multiple songs, and you have to include the writers from those songs. So you're dividing it up by that many people. You're really not getting much of the pie. So the 3,500 is assuming you're the only writer. Now, not all that goes to the writer. And the breakdown is, I think 70% of it goes to the artist, and 30% of it goes to the writer. But if you have a publisher, the publisher gets half of the writing side, of the publishing side, of the writing side. So you're already down to 15%, and if you're only writer. So I think the 3,500 is assuming you don't have a publisher, or you are your own publisher. That's what's paid out total. But it starts getting split pretty quickly.
What is your thoughts on some of these companies that are buying entire catalogs? Big amount of money.
Yes, I subscribe to some paid analytics, and there's one guy, Ted Goya. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name. He's a deep thinker. Was a jazz musician, and now he just writes really deep thinking articles. And it's not expensive. I think it's $2 a month or something to get his emails. And what was the question?
Oh, what was your what is your thought? You pulled me. What is your thought on these companies buying?
Right.
Catalog.
Yeah. So it was a peak, and it's crashing already. He wrote a big analysis on it. And those companies, they overpaid. And that's why so many artists sold. They knew it was a peak, and they sold, and it's not worth it. None of those, like Hypnosis was the biggest one. I think how you pronounce it. Hypnosis was a company, a venture capital fund, I believe, that bought a bunch of catalogs, billions of dollars of catalogs. And it didn't pay. It's not paying. And those prices are coming down now. Those prices for a lot of those classic rock. I mean, Bob Dylan sold his catalog for $500,000.
I know Bieber sold his for $200 million.
Did he?
I think so.
Or did Bob? It seems like Bob should have been more than that. I don't know. But and then there's fine lines,
Get their money back in the long term. But are you going to say it'd be a lot longer? That is going to be an extra 10 years before they get all their money back compared to what they thought? Or I mean, it's still in the long run could be profitable, or was it for some of these albums maybe?
Well, according to Ted, now he's just one man's theory, but he's a very highly educated and respected theory. He said they will become poor investments. I mean, they're not worth nothing, but they overpaid. They overpaid. I mean, you want to buy, you under the value, right? I mean, you want to sell above the value if you can. I mean, you want to buy low, sell high. That's how you make money. And those were bad investments. They overpaid. Yeah. Were they worthless? No. But one thing I have noticed is, boy, I sure see an awful lot of classic rock music in commercials and movies now.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? because they have these catalogs and they got to make money. So they're
we were watching a
licensing
movie the other night that had a ridiculous amount of classic songs. And there's that, what you said, mentioned that company that just bought a bunch of them. Now, and it sounds like they overpaid. Now, I'd say some of those artists are probably going to be more than payback. There's maybe not as long. And then some of them are probably busts and some of them are big. But the crazy part is too, like, I mean, some could blow up later. Like, I mean, goodness, I mean, they'll get a nice paycheck just for a song being in a movie or something, right? And then that could have a whole
once they sell your catalog, the artist doesn't get it.
Right. But I'm saying they could still make their money back from buying
the company could.
The company that bought it. So
there's revenue coming in. Yes, if they license it, there's revenue coming in. There's no doubt. Revenue is coming in,
but how much they paid.
For how much they paid, the question is, was it a good investment?
Yeah. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Well, if anything, a lot of the ones they did overpay, because now you can probably get a discount on a lot of the stuff like what you're saying. But that would be interesting to see. It'd be cool to see if they put out the. I'm curious what kind of over time, the next 10 years, what music does well and stuff. I mean, goodness, even there was there was a YouTuber that sold his for, I mean, he was a big name or anything. He's part of the Vlog Squad, and that helped him hit kind of bigger. He sold a bunch of his songs for 100,000. And he wasn't a big artist or nothing, but he was able to get 100,000 out of his. I mean, that's nothing to cry about, but I mean, probably it will take a while for that money to come back. And then if he's not even as popular anymore, that it could die, pretty well. He doesn't do music as much as he, as much. And he got the money probably right in the middle of when David was doing his vlogs, which he was a lot more popular, and everybody from the vlog squad, once David stopped doing his vlogs, went down. So that kind of just ties along with like things that spiked, people buying out like crazy. And now, you get things going.
Well, another thing, we were talking about record labels. Record labels are focused on legacy music. They're just the most important role in a record company is the guy or gal who's in charge of the catalogs, combing through the catalogs. I mean, we were listening to a movie, and it was Steve Miller Band, one of his big hits, like Joker, or I don't remember which one. And I remember, man, that's a Steve Miller Band song, Abracadabra. I mean, one of those hits, one of those huge hits. He was so big in the 70s. But it doesn't sound like the original. Is that a cover? And remember, I Shazammed it, and it was Steve Miller, but it was an alternative take of it. So probably, I'm going to extrapolate, I'm going to guess, but the music supervisor for that show said, I want a Steve Miller song. Well, here's the price for the big hit. Well, I can't afford that. Okay, we'll give you an alternative take. It's still Steve Miller. It's still the same song, but it's just slightly different. And it'll cost you 10%, only 10% of the original. I'm extrapolating here. I have no data to know that, but why would they not use the original that everybody knew? I mean, it was just, I was listening to them like, that sounds like Steve Miller, but that's not the original song. Because if you've listened to a song over and over and over, especially in your youth, you know if it's the original version or not. Even if it's the same artist that re-recorded it. Even if it's a different take that was recorded the same day, but it's slightly different. You've heard that so much, it's in your brain. You know when all the drum hits are. You know when the guitar parts are. You know all the parts. And when it's not exactly the same, you just know. Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that song wasn't the original.
Goodness. Tim, you should really check into this music thing. I think you might be good at it.
So why would they not use the original? Probably because it was cheaper to use an alternative cut. And the only people would be people who are doing that was somebody that bought. I don't know if Steve Miller sold his entire catalog. I mean, Steve Miller is like, I'm going to say Steve Miller's like in his 80s. I think he's still alive. I haven't heard that he passed. So I don't know if he sold his catalog, but that would be, when they buy the catalog, they buy everything, even the deep cuts. So they hire somebody to do. So they're spending all their time and energy on the legacy stuff, on the catalogs, and they don't have time or money for developing new talent. And the same thing is happening, sorry to say, in the movie business.
Say it isn't so.
I mean, what movie were we just talking about you were excited to go see?
Fantastic Four.
Have they ever made a Fantastic Four movie before?
Yes.
How many have they made?
At least three. Three in the last 20 years.
Remakes, redos. That's all the movie business is. They don't develop new stuff for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit of it, but they go with the tried and true. Go with something that was a big hit, a comic book or
something that's already popular. Make a movie called F1 racing that's already popular.
Yeah. I mean, there are exceptions, of course, but everybody's afraid of taking chances, and understandably so. It's all you lose a lot of money if you don't succeed when you try big chances. So understood the driving force behind that, and people are turning on AI. People are saying that AI, now they're calling it AI slop. People are being able to tell when it's AI, and the
careful
opinion.
So at some point it'll be AI gourmet. Oh, but AI scares me.
So
I mean, it's going to be the quality is going to go
people maybe could, but right now people are turning on it, and also the big tech companies are reading the room and realizing that, hey, fans don't like. I read an article today or yesterday about how, and it might have been Ted Goya, how he's got his finger on the pulse of what's going to happen. And where he was saying that even YouTube, I think it was Ted Goya.
Was that a slogan? You said that that sounded good.
What sounded good?
You said he's got his pulse on
fingers
what's
on
going
the
to
pulse.
happen. Fingers. He's got his fingers on the pulse of what's going to happen. So like that should be a slogan. That was pretty catchy.
I'll
that was good. You traded that mark for him.
Anyway, so yeah, he said that even some policies like YouTube, Alphabet, which is the parent company of YouTube, made some changes, and they're not now. You have to. When you upload a video, you have to certify, you have to check a box. Is this AI generated? Yes or no? And they are penalizing AI generated stuff. And the pendulum is swinging. I mean, it's not swung a lot, but it's swinging in the other direction. They're penalizing AI. And so AI doesn't have the free reign that it did. And it depends where the pendulum swings. Does it swing all the way to the rest of the direction, or does it kind of stop? But the trend right now is that people are sick of AI, and the companies that are making, he also made this comment, the tech companies that are making AI are losing money. So that would not bode well for the future of AI if that bears out to be true. So interesting.
You know who else isn't a robot? Tim Wolf. It's not Robo Tim Wolf. It's Tim Wolf. So what's your homework for today? Your homework for today is go on Spotify, look up Tim Wolf, and add him to your music list.
Thank you.
And we'd appreciate you, guys. I think that about wraps it up. It's been about an hour. We guys love you very much. So
we do.
What's your homework? You know what your homework is. Don't make me repeat myself. Please go on Spotify and like Tim's music. Listen to a little bit. Soothe your ears. Make you feel good. Guys, please, thanks for watching the podcast every Tuesday. We'll see you next Tuesday. Please like our Facebook and Instagram and all that, and appreciate you. And if you're not following us, and please feel free on Facebook, especially to share the podcast. Share the podcast with your friend. Let your friends know that you love them, and give them a nice little hug, little kiss. See you next time, guys. Bye.
Hey, just wait.
No, seriously, we'll see you next time.